So if you've been staying in tune with the NBA playoffs, you guys do know that Austin Reaves and the Los Angeles Lakers lost in 5 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they also beat my Warriors in 5 games, so I mean, I can't really talk shit. But point stands, the Lakers lost in 5, and they have a big problem to fill, and that's their center. And also, they have some defensive issues. So what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Austin Reaves and the Los Angeles Lakers. We are also going to discuss whether or not he's going to stay on the team in the future, why he might not stay on the team, and what teams he can possibly go to, so stay tuned for that. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe like I always say. It helps me out so much. Do those things, and let's get into it. So what sparked my thoughts on this trade aspect for Austin Reaves is a tweet from NBA Central talking about Bill Simmons and how he predicts that the Lakers will trade Austin Reaves. His quote goes, "When Reaves gets traded this summer, and he will get traded, the stuff that the Lakers will get back for him is going to make it seem worse the Mavericks didn't get him in the trade." And this is basically just one guy's opinion, but Bill Simmons is pretty reputable. And, you know, some people actually take what he has to say very wholeheartedly. And honestly, it's not a bad take at all, because if you think about it, the Lakers were a great team after the trade deadline, after they got Luka. They were a pretty good team in the regular season. And then the playoffs, they kind of just got their weaknesses exposed. They had a bad matchup. The Timberwolves are a really good team, and they also play big and physical with Ant and Julius Randle. And the Lakers have one big issue. Their defense is not super physical besides LeBron James, really. At least their starting lineup. They have some guys like Vando and stuff off the bench, but, you know, for all we know, Jackson Hayes is their best center, and that's just not going to cut it for a team that has championship aspirations. So, you know, things did not work out in the end, and some people have real concerns whether Austin Reaves and Luka Doncic can coincide in the same backcourt, because, you know, Austin Reaves had a great second half of the season. Honestly, it's arguable that once Luka Doncic came in, it helped Austin Reaves bloom and blossom, but at the same time, their defensive capabilities limit their ceiling, in my opinion. So, you know, there is that, but there also is the offensive ceiling that they could have, because they are really good offensively. So maybe their offense ends up being so good that they don't even need to trade Reaves. But we're going to go over both sides, and there's actually some good evidence and good reasoning why, you know, Reaves might get traded. So stay tuned for that. And Lakers fans, just be open-minded to this one. I think Austin Reaves is a really good player. I think he's one of the best third options in the league. I just think it might be difficult between him and Luka to work together. But, you know, I'm not doubting them at all. I fully believe that Luka Doncic can make it work, because Luka Doncic is Luka Doncic, right? But yeah, let's go over some of this information now. And we're going to start by dissecting this post from Clutch Points. And you guys probably know what Clutch Points are. Pretty big sports media outlet. And this is what they had to say. The Austin Reaves era in LA could be coming to a bitter end. AR-15 went from undrafted to unreal, rapidly becoming a pivotal player for the Los Angeles Lakers, but the situation with his contract has become complex. Set to become eligible for a contract extension next offseason, Reaves can only be offered a maximum of $82.9 million over 4 years, and that's $20.8 million a year. And this is because it's under the new CBA, and given his impact in production, that figure likely undervalues him, which, little opinion for me, I totally agree, because Austin Reaves is averaging, you know, mid-20s towards the end of the year. He was going insane. Maybe he cooled down in the playoffs a little bit, but towards the end of the year, he was averaging like 23, 24 points per game, and in today's league, that's worth more than $21 million. So, you know, a team will definitely give him more than that. But let's continue. So it says, at 26, Reaves may choose to decline the extension and test free agency in 2026, where he could command a much larger deal, potentially a max contract worth up to $42 million per year, which is insane. But it also adds on saying, the Lakers are in a bind. Reaves has game, no doubt, but with the front office locked in on adding size, defensive grit, and wing depth, he could become trade bait rather than a building block. And, you know, this isn't a bad point at all, because if they are right, and I'm sure they did their research to back it up, if they can only offer him a $21 million extension, that is way too low of a contract for a guy like Austin Reaves. Unless he completely falls off next season and he doesn't deserve that, then maybe you can justify giving him $21 million. But this is a guy who went undrafted. This is a guy who's not making crazy money off the gate. He's going to want to get paid, and if he can get $42 million, he's going to take it. So the Lakers need to keep that in mind when shopping him around this offseason or even next year's trade deadline. Because even if you shop him around this offseason, a lot of teams are going to want him. A lot of teams are going to want a young guard with potential, and a lot of teams are going to be willing to take that risk. And if they have a good young center that they could trade for him, or a good all-star caliber center that they could trade for him, then that could be a good enticing deal for the Lakers, because obviously, like I said earlier, the center position is their biggest weakness. And also, Luka Doncic thrives off having a good center, a good lob threat like he did in Dallas, right, with Derek Lively and Gafford. He made those guys look like studs, and they are studs, but he just enhanced their game even more. But yeah, the main point I'm trying to make is Luka thrives off a center. He probably definitely wants an elite center, and if the right trade is there, Austin Reaves could be the person that they ship for a good center. And now looking at some of the favorites to land Austin Reaves, we have the Knicks, the Heat, the Clippers, Bucks, Warriors, Celtics, Thunder, Raptors, Hawks, Magic, and Hornets. And when gauging these trade destinations for him, you gotta think, do these teams have a good center that they could basically entice the Lakers enough to trade Austin Reaves for? And, we have the Knicks. They have Towns, obviously, but are the Knicks really going to trade Karl Anthony Towns for Austin Reaves? No, the Knicks might make the NBA Finals this year, and I just don't see that happening, so we're going to cross them off the list. The Heat, if they really want to go full rebuild, Bam Adebayo for Austin Reaves, I don't know, man. That could be a solid little trade foundation. That could be an interesting one, but we got to see, what the Heat are kind of trying to aim for in the future, because they had Tyler Hero. I don't know if they want to, stay with him, or if they want to trade him away, or if they want to build the backcourt between Hero and Reaves. Who really knows there? But, the Heat do have Bam Adebayo, so that could be something enticing and interesting. And next we have the Clippers, and they have Zubac. That could be a little interesting trade package, but, that kind of just depends on whether or not they're going to keep Harden this year, which I'm assuming they are. Harden will probably stay back for a couple more years because he had a great year there. But if the Clippers are going to trade or keep Harden, and they also have Norman Powell, and they also have Kawhi Leonard, I don't know if they really want Austin Reaves, and I don't think they'd really trade Zubac, who probably is their most valuable player in my opinion, because Kawhi is getting older. Obviously, Zubac is not their best player, but he's their youngest star player that they have on the Clippers roster right now. So, he might be too valuable for Austin Reaves. I don't really know exactly there, but that's not a bad idea. They also have the Bucks and the Warriors. I just don't really see that happening unless the Lakers want to get Brook Lopez, but obviously Austin Reaves is worth way more than Brook Lopez, so I don't really know how that would work. Warriors don't have a center that the Lakers would want. Can't see that happening. Celtics could be interesting. If they really want to trade Reaves for Porzingis, a little deal around that could be something. Or if the Lakers even say, screw a center, we want Derek White. I don't really know exactly what they would do there, but Derek White would be a good addition next to Luka Doncic. So Celtics are not horrible, because the Celtics do have to trade some of their players. Tatum's going to be out next year for most of the year, maybe the whole year. So, the Celtics are in a weird position. They're also going to be over the second apron, so they're going to need to trade Porzingis, White, or Holiday next season. So, that could be an interesting option. We have the Thunder, which does not make sense at all to me. I just don't see how that benefits them at all. Maybe they trade for Hartenstein, but the Thunder really don't need Austin Reaves at all, in my opinion. So I just gonna cross that off the list. We have the Raptors, which is interesting. Maybe the Lakers trade for RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl, something like that. I don't really know exactly what they would do there, but that could be an option. I just don't really see it. But the Raptors are looking for some young guys with star potential. So if they somehow work it out and figure out a deal there, I'm not going to be surprised. We also have the Hawks, which could be interesting. They have a Kongwu and Capella. I just don't think the Hawks are going to re-sign Capella. I think Capella will just go somewhere else in free agency. So, it'd just really be a Kongwu, and I just don't think the Hawks are ready to give up on a Kongwu, because he's had a great season this year, so I can't really see that happening. With the Magic have a lot of weird centers. They have a guy like Wendell Carter and stuff like that, and the Magic do also need another point guard, so maybe they could work out something there, but I just don't really see that. I don't really think the Magic have enough that the Lakers would want to trade with them, because I feel like anyone that the Lakers would even want to add for Austin Reaves would be untouchable, because, the Lakers would probably want Franz or Paolo, which are going to be untouchable. Maybe even Suggs, but I just don't think, the Magic would even work a trade like that, because they'd just be getting rid of defense for more offense. I don't know, man. But, unless the Lakers really want Suggs, it could happen. And then the last thing we have the Charlotte Hornets, which is kind of funny, because if they would trade with the Hornets, they would probably want Mark Williams. And, we kind of saw that happen last time. So I'm gonna hold off on that one right now, because I don't really think that the Lakers would redo that trade for Mark Williams. And especially, I don't think they would get rid of Austin Reaves for Mark Williams. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna cross that out too. But out of all these teams, the only teams that really make sense are the Heat, the Clippers, the Celtics, and the Raptors, kind of. But honestly, the Celtics might actually happen the most. They could do a Reaves for White deal, a Reaves for Porzingis. I don't really know there, but Reaves is making less money than both of them, so the Celtics could get a younger and more cheaper player. So it could work out for both sides. I don't really know, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Austin Reaves situation. Let me know if you guys think Reaves is gonna get traded, or if you guys think Reaves is gonna stay. I don't really know, man. You guys are diehard Laker fans probably watching this, so you guys let me know down below. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. Like I said in the beginning of the video, make sure you guys do those things, and we out.